Music.
Reviews.
Chat.
Poems.
Comedy. Writing. Interviews.
ELFM, it's radio, but so much more.
In Leeds, lovely Leeds, and what a show we've got upcoming for you. We're going to talk about loads of stuff, mainly. I mean, it's such an important year. Me and Daz, we're going to put the world to rights, get all you Cup 26ers, given you, we'll give you our opinion, and we'll hope you're well. And that was Fuzzy Jones, who is, well,
no stranger to this
no
building.
stranger to this building at all. Did she help find it?
Well, she was
She was
involved
manager.
in it. She worked here for quite a while.
She
and
worked
now
here for ages.
She's pursuing music and pursuing a wonderful life, I believe, in France.
I
Good
think
morning,
so.
Fuzzy. How are you?
I think so, yep. And watch her space for... what's the girl?
Well, that was... She's all over the socials. She's on Facebook
She is,
and
yes.
she's on... Twitter, is she? I think
she is.
Instagram.
Yep.
That song was actually from her album she's got out now, Hotel Landifornia,
Yes.
which is available on Bandcamp. Go and buy that. All the music we're playing today is actually from artists local to the area we're in, which is Leeds in the north of England, good old Yorkshire.
Proper side of the world,
The right side of the Pennines. shall we
God's own
say.
county, Yorkshire.
Exactly. Somebody should write a song about that.
They should do, shouldn't they?
Should, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be a really good song.
I think
if somebody could write a song about that.
I wonder if I could see it.
If only we could visualise that.
Yeah,
what
see
it
what
would
I
look
can
like.
see. Talking of seeing what I can see. Today we're on YouTube.
We're on the tube of you.
Yes.
Somewhere there's a camera. Let's wave at the camera. Everybody wave.
Can't
at the
see me.
camera.
I'm behind a mic stand.
You'll have to turn face forward.
Oh, of course.
Don't turn sideways.
Yeah,
You'll disappear.
That's right. Yes. Yes. So Tell us a bit more.
There's some wonderful technical stuff going on that I've got absolutely no idea about. I don't understand it. Do you understand it?
I have no idea at all.
It's a good job Elliot understands it.
I'm a little bit of a technophobe when it comes to stuff like this. You know, it's like the memory on my calculator is more advanced than the memory on my social media and computer
I'd imagine
devices.
you've never used a calculator, so the memory would be quite
Yes.
unused, shall we say.
Yes. Oh, no. I can spell Leeds backwards when it's upside down.
Other words as well, which
Yes.
are we allowed to say?
No.
Anybody who's ever used a calculator when they were about 10.
Yeah, I'm just catching up to that.
We'll know the words that we're talking about. Shell oil was another one.
Yes, that's a good one.
But there were one or two other ones that we're probably not allowed to discuss
No.
live on air.
No.
But, people do
and
enjoy.
We won't. So, we got some important things, haven't we, with the COP26 thing?
Well, yeah, there's been some good stuff going on.
Been oil, coal
has it been in Glasgow?
I think so.
Right. What's been happening up there?
Well, the oil, the coal has been downsized or downgraded.
Downgraded?
Or something. Where they're not going to stop using it, they're just going to reduce the production of it and reduce its use.
Right. Is that why they're closing all the power stations and blowing up all the cooling towers?
I think so. Yeah.
Shocking behaviour.
I have very different views on people and the planet. Regular listeners will know.
Do share.
Helping the environment starts with us. It starts with the person in the mirror, to quote Michael Jackson, doesn't it? It don't. We're just passing the buck on to people who wear shirts and ties and have loads of money. Well, here's the thing. Without the money, they don't have the power. So work it out for yourself. I try not to use plastics. I try and be as environmentally friendly as I can. I'm not preaching it, and I'm not. But,
Does everybody do their little bit?
I think they try.
However small.
I think they do, but I
people
think...
try. Is that enough?
No, it isn't. I think people are being led and they're being lied to as well again.
Surely not.
No. I know.
People in government lying to people.
I know.
Since when did that start?
Shocking, isn't it?
I am shocked, I tell you.
Yeah, I've not heard one thing about the deforestation and the production of palm oil and what happens to the forests, through this whole COP26 thing. Not one. I've not watched it. I've not been having to watch it. It might well have been mentioned, but I've not heard anybody talking about it. That they're destroying the lungs of the world.
What does that mean?
What? It means that they're putting money before the.
But isn't that the way?
Is it?
Does everybody put money before things that they really care about? There are very, very few people who are that staunchly principled.
Yeah, that we've been fooled.
That they sacrifice their principles for the almighty dollar.
I'm not a what's called. I might be a conspiracy theorist. I don't know.
You've been called worse.
I have been called worse quite a bit.
This morning you've been called.
I certainly have, by Mrs. Wheezy. Mrs. Wheezy, my lovely wife.
Morning, Louise.
She thing about money is people have forgotten that it's a relatively recent thing. We survived for many, many hundreds of thousands of years before that came along. We still traded, we still ate, and we still...
The thing about people...
Evolved.
Especially modern people, they equate money to happiness.
Yeah.
And it's really not.
It doesn't, no.
You don't need money to be happy. You don't need money to survive. It's just that now we've been so conditioned to think like that, that, money gives you status and power this morning. Does it really?
Not really.
Do you need money to be powerful?
I know from a hard lesson I learnt that the power is in yourself. It's in ourselves. We know that. We just don't know that we know that.
Yeah. A big house will keep you just as dry and warm as a small house.
It will.
a small car will get you from A to B just as well as a big car will.
It will. So will your feet. Might be slower, but you'll get there. If the determination's there, you'll get there, won't it?
If people are just not so preoccupied with being something to other people,
Yeah.
i.e., when you meet somebody for the first time, you know, hello, how you doing? You shake hands. And you go, so what's the first question they ask you?
It's like what you do, isn't it?
What do you do?
Yeah,
What do you do for a living? Like you have to justify yourself as being something to be regarded as an equal. Utter nonsense.
Yeah.
And I cleaned that up. Yeah.
You're right. The whole shift has been gone from bringing up good kids to being a good person with plenty of money.
What makes whatever freeloader is residing in number 10 any better than you or me?
Well, exactly.
Nothing.
Nope.
Just the perceived notion that they have money and status. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I say, power is yours. It's ours. It's not theirs. And it's in that power, it's our responsibility to clean the earth and to make sure it's a nice environment, not theirs.
Well, it does belong to everybody. You're right.
You know.
And the power is with the people, and the sooner they realise that, the better it will be.
So wake up.
All these people talking about, Boris Johnson, isn't he rubbish? Isn't he doing a rubbish job? Well, who else is there?
He's there. He's doing it.
Whatever colour politician, be it Labour, Green Party, Liberal, Democrat, they would have faced exactly the same problems Boris Johnson has faced.
Yep.
And we can't sit here and honestly say they would have done any better than Boris Johnson has.
No.
Or any worse,
And
for
that's
that
the
matter.
thing. These problems are man-made problems by people, by them, and this system. And it's a global system. It's not just a UK thing. It's a global system, which, in reality, only really affects about a third of the globe. It's not even a proper, true global phenomenon. It's infested and infected.
Again, with your conspiracy theories.
I know.
How dare you?
I know. I mean, I think of those people in where they're cutting down the trees in the Amazon. There's indigenous tribes there that are quite rightly protected, and as they should be. They should be left alone, right? But I look at them as being the same as me. You know, they're no better than I am. I'm probably worse than they are because they're at least living their existence and not affecting anyone else.
We'll come back to that in a minute. COP26 again, and we will ask some questions that
Stay tuned.
the mainstream media journalists haven't yet asked. In the meantime, we'll play this, another local musical legend of many years standing, I do believe. This is the latest single called Own Me from Nightmares on Wax.
back in the room to Bob Jukebox, East Leeds FM, Chapel FM, here in the mighty, mighty, mighty Leeds. Yes.
We're on the air.
Yes, marching on together we are.
Well, I won't go that far.
Yeah.
But if you are marching on together, I just want you to know that you'll never walk alone.
Thank you. And that's true. And Leeds and Liverpool are not just connected by a canal.
They start with the same letter as well.
They do.
So many connections.
I know. It's brilliant, isn't it? Anyway, enough about football.
COP26 we were talking about.
Yeah, Cop Out 26, as I prefer to call it.
Ooh, controversial. Do elaborate.
Well, there's just a lot of monkeys playing lip service to smaller people. There you go, my little small Marshall Island. We'll try and, we're going to listen to you, are we?
Of course they do.
Hey, have a load of money.
No, that's not how it works.
Have a load of
Surely
money.
That's not how it works.
What we'll do is we'll tax our people to give you loads and loads of money so that we can still carry on doing what we're doing and making more money. Or is that being a little bit too cynical?
I never had you down for a cynic, Trev.
I know.
Nor a conspiracy theorist.
I know.
You get called some things, don't you? I don't know.
Usually beginning with C.
I don't know where people get these ideas from.
But is that not the case?
It probably is. You were talking about deforestation, and we off air we had a lovely chat with someone who works
Henry,
here at East Leeds FM, who took a group of young people
up to Glasgow.
To Glasgow, and they had a conversation with people from the small island of Tuvalu. Has never really been spoken about. He said, and, they spoke to people from all over the world.
It surprised me. It surprised me that that it hasn't been mentioned. But I maintain that that's what it's all about: money. They're even bribing people over there to get rid of the trees so they'll give indigenous people a small bit of land and say, there you go. Make some money with some cows.
Can't you turn cows into magic beans, or is that just
something
in the story?
Yeah. Or something like that, magic beans. Yeah. So they're so instead of the people feeding themselves from the forest, they're feeding themselves from cows and having the farms.
Are we supposed to stop eating cows now because meat is bad?
Well.
Is meat not bad for the environment and the world and the planet and the climate? And
I think it's how it's produced.
We should stop eating meat. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, what's worse? Somebody going to eat an animal they've caught in the forest, or somebody like me and you going down to a supermarket and getting a piece of meat wrapped in plastic and eating it?
But you don't do that because. What's your famous mantra? If you can't kill it yourself, you shouldn't be eating it.
Damn right.
So why are you going to a supermarket?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd wager you're a hypocrite, sir.
I may be. You might think of me as a hypocrite. Give me a sharp enough blade and a tasty animal and I'll happily dispatch it and eat it.
So in Glasgow, let's get back to Glasgow, because I know you would actually do that. We're going to be stormed on by all kinds.
That might upset people.
It's a harsh fact of life.
It is a harsh.
People should face up to harsh facts of life.
I am a meat eater, and I know the responsibility that carries. And to be fair, if I were in a situation where I don't shy away from dangerous situations, I never have. And if that situation,
I was at your wedding, I can vouch for that.
I know. Yeah. I just want to. You probably will not understand this, but I will not. If there is an animal that's there willing to eat me, and I am going to be its food, then I will be its food. It's what we do. It's what we are. I'm not trying to kill my planet.
So, with that in mind, I don't know how many people, official, ambassadors and delegates, call them what you will, attended the COP26 summit. With that in mind, how much of the food, if any, do you think was vegan? Given that animals, eating animals is bad.
Do you know?
I'd wager none.
I'd say. And even if it was vegan, supplied by a company who deals with meat anyway. So even if here's the thing, people, right? You go to restaurants and you order the vegetarian or vegan alternative. Person who's selling you that is still making money from eating meat and meat. So what's you eat, people should eat what they want to eat, you know. And I'm not, you know, I don't want to see places where the only vegetarian option is the door, which you know, I mean, that might be fine, but I'd really like. I don't want vegetarian, vegan places subsidised at the cost of something else, but I would like to see more people, more. It's like almost a choice thing, you know. For me, I don't see why we can't have, instead of grass on grass verges, we can have things like chives and herbs. You know, bring it into society that there's food there, you know, that growing. You know, instead of hedgerows.
How long do you think? How do you think those? How long do you think they'd last? Those herbs and chives on a bit of land at the side of a road.
Well, it's probably not the best place to put it, is it, at the side of a road? But it's what I'm trying to say is we're conditioned into doing these things, into keeping us grass short, when we should be getting crops long and tall. You know, if there's food there, and we bring up a society where where we can sustain ourselves, you know.
Is it worth doing if not everybody's going to do it?
Well, yeah, it starts somewhere. Oh, it starts with us.
So how do you make those people who don't want to do it or aren't really attempting to do it, how do you get them involved and get them on board?
Well,
I say that because at the COP26, I believe the guy in charge was Alok Sharma, and he was he was getting everybody involved, and the original document,
right,
and the second document had to be read in conjunction with the first document for any of it to make sense.
Okay.
And then again, it was, I believe the phrase was, the language and terminology was changed, so that the original intention was watered down somewhat. But even then, surprisingly enough, India couldn't agree to it, and I believe China isn't on board either.
No.
So especially with China, with being one of the biggest polluters in the world, if they're not willing to get involved and you know, bring the measures in, what's going to make anybody else do it?
Well, exactly. I mean, you mentioned there China being a big polluter of the world. Now, if you stuck, let's say you get a picture of the country of China, and then you get a picture of England. How many Englands could you fit in that picture of China?
A lot.
A lot. And
Heck of a lot.
And then tell me how big a problem China is. You know, I'm not saying it isn't, but we're such a small, tiny country, and we have such a.
But that's kind of the point. If somewhere as big as China is not willing to get involved and bring the measures in, same as India, is there any point anybody else trying?
Well,
You know, because it's just not going to work. Do they want to get the climate, the temperature of the planet? Is it 1.5 degrees? I think that's the figure being mentioned.
It's got to be within 1.5
Right.
degrees. It can't rise.
But that's
any
not
higher.
going to happen if China and India are on board.
I don't think it's just them though.
No, but
Yeah.
but with them being
Oh yeah,
Up there,
I get you.
being
I
the
get,
biggest polluters,
I get it.
what's the point in little old UK bringing all these measures in and trying when somewhere the size of China isn't really on board with it and doesn't want to do it, and you know, they're going to keep pumping out all these pollutants into the atmosphere.
I think at least if we do it, we're not doing it. You know, if we lead, you know, Britain.
Well, I'm not killing anyone, but that don't make murder right, does it?
No, it's true. You're right there. But what I'm trying to say is,
I'm not killing anyone today, anyway. It's time yet.
Yeah. I'll sleep with one eye open later on, I think. But what I mean is such as our country, Britain is supposed to be a global leader in many things: arms, finances, climate things, whatever it is. But if we're so well respected, then we should lead by example.
Also, as a final point, we spoke about being hypocritical earlier on. All these people that attended the COP26, the main players, how did they get there?
Oh,
And when they got there, how did they get from A to B?
they surely walked.
Was it on big gas guzzling 747 aeroplanes? And
well,
didn't a certain US president have a convoy of 25 vehicles?
so somebody did say that.
And
yeah.
were they all parked up in Glasgow somewhere with the engines running whilst ferrying people from A to B? And how good for the climate was that?
Well, it might well have been unleaded fuel.
Like you say, cop out 26.
Yeah, exactly.
What a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain things aren't. We're not going to change this world overnight. You know,
Not when the people who are telling us how to live our lives are carrying on the way they are doing.
It's
In gas guzzling 747 jets and
exactly
people carriers, 25
I have a question.
people carriers.
If they
What's
were,
the point?
If
Do as
Biden,
I say, not as I do.
well, that's all it is. That's all it's ever been.
I'm going to play a song anyway.
Yeah. Can I just say this?
No.
All right.
Go on, say it.
I'm going to say it. If Biden went to see the Queen with all that, would he have to pay congestion charge on all those vehicles?
Could you imagine the media furore had Donald Trump turned up that way?
Well, yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's not trendy to kick Joe Biden, is it?
No, it's
So,
not, because he's a dirty old fool
You know,
or something.
Joe's okay.
Oh, is he?
Donald Trump, on the other hand, was
No, he's
public
bad.
enemy number one, and
He's
he would have
bad.
been castigated for it. And I'm not a fan of his, but I believe in fair play. Anyway, we'll play a
said.
song now. Another local superstar. She's a fantastic singer-songwriter. She's a singing coach, and she's been on my other show, Backbeat.
King.
Absolutely wonderful. This is a brand new single called Circles. This is Kinga.
to Bob Jukebox, Chapel FM, East Leeds FM. In the
Kinga K.
Kinga K.
That was brilliant.
She's a local lass.
Brand new single that from Kinga. Check that out. That's on Spotify and Bandcamp and all over the place.
Yep.
All usual places.
All the good musical downloading peoples and some rubbish ones as well. Yes.
Ooh, Northern Boys,
I
no
know.
gravy.
That's just another example that change is
Not
good.
good.
So we were. Let's talk about cancel culture.
Yeah, let's do this. And I'm going to read something. I'm going to read something now, which I don't
Okay.
usually do. I just normally waffle.
Yes.
Cancel culture is a thing that's raised its ugly head again this week.
Okay.
In London, a couple of nights ago, Israeli ambassador Tzipi Hotovedi, I hope I've said that right, was hounded by a baying mob of pro-Palestine bigots
Okay.
for having the audacity to have a different opinion to them after a speech at the London School of Economics.
Okay.
Why does that happen? Why was it not plastered all over the mainstream media? And in this age of be more kind, etc., etc., why is that kind of vicious bullying allowed to happen?
Well,
Especially to a dignitary. Not
Yeah.
that gives her any special treatment, preferences, or whatever. It shouldn't happen to anybody.
no. I mean, I have my particular views about, let's say, our political class. But that said, I will because firstly, the people. And I have on many occasions entertained these people and spoken to these people as equals and as people, because we are people. Don't matter what you are, what exterior thing you are, whether you're a politician or even a drug user, whatever spectrum or whatever part of the spectrum you are. The spectrum is that you're a human being. And not all human beings are exactly the same. And if you cannot grasp that, then I think there's something failing in yourself.
But why would someone who's been invited, I mean, someone of quite a high status, she's an Israeli ambassador,
Yep.
and she's been invited to the London School of Economics, a prestigious establishment,
Yep.
and yet she's hounded.
I mean, I'm not aware of this story. I must have.
That's the point.
And well, yeah.
Why is it not plastered all
it
over the
should be.
mainstream media?
It should be, because I think that the mainstream media is just a political mouthpiece.
For who?
Well, mainly the middle class and our
I was saying,
political
it
parties.
doesn't speak for the ordinary people, or the ordinary person on the street.
I mean, I do have middle class friends, and I really do. And but they don't seem to be. They don't seem choices onto other people.
But isn't the point of us being people and being different is that we don't agree? We have differing opinions.
Exactly. That's what makes us us. That will, I'm gonna get back right to when was the referendum? 2016?
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people who were so-called inclusive turned it out to be the nastiest people I have ever seen.
I mean, to be honest, I've seen a lot of name calling on both sides.
Totally agree.
But,
And
I'm taking no sides. I've seen the most disgusting name calling
Yep.
from people who voted Remain against people who voted to leave.
It's not just really name calling. People were physically attacked.
Yeah, yeah. But it's turned seemingly nice, decent, upstanding,
These were supposed to be.
right-thinking people
Yeah.
into what we've seen here. Bullies.
Yeah, they are bullies.
What makes name calling right in any situation?
Well, it's not.
If you
is
want
it?
to discuss something, discuss it. Discuss it in the right way. And if people has a different opinion to you, respect that. And you know, I saw something this week. I think it was on Twitter that everybody who voted Leave had been misled. That may be the case. You know, we didn't know what we voted for.
Apparently, yeah.
But it turns out everything that's happened since then, the Remain campaign didn't know either. So it turns out nobody knew what they were voting for.
Exactly.
So
if nobody knows what they're voting for...
I'm expecting a flood of apologies on Twitter, but I haven't seen any yet.
No, I don't think you'll get them either. Because they're too rude. People like that are too rude. Like those people jostling that person there.
Yeah.
They're too rude. And they are too...
A baying mob.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a mob mentality.
Dignitary, yeah. I mean, and just to switch that a little bit further, pro-gender rights campaigner Professor Kathleen Stockland, I think her name is, had to resign from her post at Sussex University after enraging trans activists for suggesting sex is a biological fact.
Well, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, of course it is. I mean, am I going to get hounded here? I probably will do.
I'm just asking a question. Is it?
Well, I'd say it was. It's like, let me see. I drive a van. You know, I drive a transit van. Now, I'd love to drive a convertible, but I'm not going to cut the roof off my van. It's a van, you know. I'm not going to, you know, it was made that way. I can't, I mean, we can, well, I could alter it and make it into it. And people do that, and fair play to them. They can do that.
Just to support this as well, after complaining to police, they suggested she hire a bodyguard.
See, that's wrong, isn't it?
And the union, which she's a member of because of her job, offered no support whatsoever.
It's wrong, man. It's wrong.
So I think this, to give it some context, that point about the sex and gender was made within a university establishment. And the point was there's toxicity creeping into universities where the mob mentality that you mentioned is kind of God and kind of influence decision making. Hence, she lost her job.
That's been happening for many, many years. That's something that's been festering for a long time, you know. And
so sex is a biological fact, so we should believe the science.
Well, my personal opinion is yes. Fact is fact, isn't it?
So if we can believe the science on gender, can we not believe the science on climate?
Well,
or is there a different agenda going on there?
I think there is. It's like also, it's like with your people there. They have a different agenda. It's a one-upmanship. They want to be in power. They want to have their power expressed, and that's what they want to do.
It's a serious issue, and it really needs looking at and sorting.
I think the world is
especially in universities.
It's a scary place.
It's going in a direction that I don't think is necessarily a good one. Yes, there is good things, good aspects among it, but the general direction, I think, is not a good one.
It's a downward spiral, isn't it?
There's another side to the cancel culture which I'm going to come back to in a minute. I'm going to play a song, and it's the point is it's kind of a someone cancelled themselves before they could get cancelled, but it was a serious point they were making. We'll come to that in just 1 second. I'm going to play this song. This is Miranda Arriere, another brilliant local musician, singer, songwriter, and mental health campaigner. She is one in a million. Check her out on Spotify, Twitter, and all the usual places. This is a song from her album Farine, and this is called The End.
to Bob Jukebox, Chapel FM, East Leeds FM.
We're back.
I've no idea what that means.
We're on the air.
But we're on the air, we're on the YouTube, so you can see us as well.
We're on YouTube. Wave at the camera.
Pretty.
Yeah, I won't go that far.
Well, you know, in somebody's eyes.
How many cameras are on you exactly?
Yeah, I know. The camera adds £15, and there must be at least 50 cameras in here. So, cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Yeah.
Before we get cancelled ourselves. John Cleese this week.
John Cleese.
John Cleese.
Is he still alive?
He of Monty Python fame.
Yeah, I love Monty Python.
And what was it? Watery Towels. He was in that, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And yeah, he made a point this week. He was due to speak, I believe, at Cambridge University.
Okay.
The university he attended. And there was something going on that he didn't agree with, or something happened. And he cancelled himself.
All right.
He took it upon himself to cancel himself because there was, I forget what was said. Something happened. He didn't agree with it. So he cancelled himself from the speech he was due to give before they cancelled him.
Right. So he resigned before he was fired.
Yeah. Within that, there was a serious point. An art historian
Right.
was blamed, castigated, hung, drawn and quartered, tarred and feathered, and all the rest of it,
Yeah.
for doing a brief impersonation of Hitler during a debate on taste.
Okay.
Now,
I think I can see where this is going.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about that?
With that, is that tied in with the John Cleese thing?
Yeah. I think that's what made John Cleese go, do you know what?
Yeah.
Nah.
He was gonna get, wasn't he?
So he cancelled himself before they could cancel him.
Yeah. I agree with him with that, to be fair. You know, fair play to John Cleese. Why should he offer himself up for the slaughter like that when it you know, when people are gonna this surprised me, this thing. And if you're listening and you're doing this, I want you to come and meet me face to face. Because there's people like these footballers who I'm not agreeing with them, but they let's say 10 years ago they made a racist comment, or they made a homophobic comment, or sexist, whatever, you know. There's people going out there and they're looking for these comments just to try in some small way to destroy somebody who's trying to do good for himself or good for others. You know, yes, past is past. People are people. We grow, we evolve. Somebody's view might be different to what their view was 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 days ago, 5 minutes ago. Your view could be changed and be different to what it is now. Now, if we should and cancel people because of what they did in the past, surely that means that we are not allowed to evolve. And if you're not evolving, then what's the point of being here?
You're allowed to evolve, but within the confines of the narrative.
Well, I am confined by no narrative. I'm not.
You won't contain an old punk.
You will not. Not at all. This is my language.
So
And I will say it.
This art historian, I don't know the context of,
I don't
of his
either.
lecture, what they were debating. Obviously, it was about taste. The debate was on taste. So I'm guessing, and I could be wrong. I stand corrected if anybody wants to put me right. But if he's giving a lecture or debating the issue of taste,
Yeah.
a brief impersonation of Hitler within that would surely give a differential between good taste and bad taste.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Or are we not allowed to do that anymore?
Well, perhaps not allowed to do that anymore. But I'm gonna say something now, which I'm hoping is gonna switch a light bulb on in a lot of people's minds. Right. When John Cleese, and others were doing impersonations of certain dictators back then in the 1970s and whenever. There was a lot of people still around who, during World War II, were looking at and being cheered up by morale, such as songs as certain people having won ball. This Mickey taking was an extension of that. Those people who gave away their freedoms and their lives, and those people who sacrifice so much, are entitled to laugh at what they want. People, and that humour was aimed at them, predominantly aimed at those people who were living through it. And as those people sadly die and fade away into history, that's called evolving. We find different comics and different things to laugh about. And as people fade and families become family history, we will evolve into new things and find new things to laugh at. Do not blame somebody for what their grandpa did. Blame yourself for what you're doing now. That's all that matters. You want to change the world? Change your world. I'm getting passionate now, and I don't want to swear, but wake up before I slap you. That's it.
That were really, really profound right up until the end.
I'm telling you, that's it.
You reverted to type, and you were going to slap everybody.
That's it, though, innit? People need a slap round the face.
This was the thing we were talking about earlier on about the toxicity within the university system.
Yeah.
It's a long time since I was at university, so a lot of things have changed. For example, Oxford University this week. That's Oxford University.
That's where our leaders go.
That institution that's produced so many great people
to become leaders. Yeah.
This week has been accused of moral failure because it accepts millions and millions of pounds in donations from a certain Max Mosley.
I've never heard of him.
Who, as we know, is was quite a prominent figure, a public figure, but he inherited all his money and wealth, or the vast majority of it, from his father.
Okay.
Who was the prominent British fascist Oswald Mosley.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, look him up.
Yeah, well.
You know the black shirts. Yeah, you do.
All right, I have heard of them.
Oswald Mosley was
the
fascist
I get that.
leader of the black shirts.
Yes.
And he
I do remember
handed down when he passed all his money to Max Mosley, who made millions and millions of donations to Oxford University, who gleefully rubbed their hands and said, "Thank you, Max, very much.
Yep.
We will put that money to good use."
Yep.
So it seems.
See, that's my point. You know, I'm going to bring it up to, let's say, I'm going back to the 70s, John Lennon. You know, John Lennon used to give peace and joy to a lot of people. But in his younger days, he used to mug people for money. You know, people. That's my point about evolving. We evolve. We are what we are.
Change.
Yeah, people do change.
But the hypocrisy that we've spoken about at COP26
Yes.
is more than evident on the toxic university campuses
Yeah.
up and down this up and down this country. You know, so you want to do a brief impersonation of Adolf Hitler? No, you can't do that.
No.
Do you want to accept money that was inherited by a prominent British fascist? Yes, please. We'll have plenty of that.
Yep.
So we'll leave you with that thought.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed this show.
I've really loved it.
It's been quite good. Thanks for listening. If you did,
Yep.
let us know what you think about what we've discussed today. Listen again on the ELFM player or chapelfm.co.uk.
Leeds FM.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think,
True
and
Jukebox.
we might even pick this up.
We are even on Facebook and everything.
We're on Faceake. We're on other things. We've been on YouTube today. Wave at the camera. check us out on YouTube, Chapel FM on YouTube, and that's us. We're going to leave with another brilliant tune. This from another fantastic local singer-songwriter called Christopher Taylor. This is his latest single, available in all the usual places, the Spotifys, the Bandcamps, you know where to look, you young folks, and even some of you old folks. This is his brand new single called No One Knows, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.